she tried to fight me. Woo! I was scared.
Bitch, what I was trying to say is this situation got me so wet and so dry at the same time. Exactly.
What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of So Wet, So Dry. I'm your host, Autumn, like the season, and I'm a submissive slut in the bedroom, but a dominant bitch in the conference room. And I work in entertainment.
And I'm Fiji, like the island, like the water. I'm currently having a style identity crisis because I work remotely 24/7 and I work in marketing and social media.
Yeah, feel that. Me too. So basically, if you guys are new to So Wet, So Dry, what we do is we deep dive topics about sex, relationships, and identity, all through the lens of pop culture, internet trends, and our community's experiences. We post polls and give an opportunity to submit stories or questions or whatever on our Instagram for every episode. So follow us at So Wet, So Dry and join our community of confused pussies.
Yes, and today we have a interesting topic for you guys. We are talking about the other woman. We are talking about the I'm coming to you as a woman DM, girl code, girls, like men who pit women against each other, all that bullshit. But before we get into that, we're going to start the episode as we always do, talking about what we're so wet and so dry about in this very moment. So guys, I will go first, and I'm sure you're fucking sick of hearing me talk about this, okay? But I'm done with my situationship again for the fourth fucking time. We fucking ended it. He ended it. It's fine.
Yeah,
he
ended
not
it.
I, though I should have long ago. And you know, more time has gone by since the last time I talked about it. So like, it seems like 2 weeks. It's been longer. In that span,
Yeah.
we did break up and get back together twice, even though we're not in a relationship. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But anyway, by this point, I'm over it, guys. His values do not align with me. He's a good guy. He's a good man. He is not emotionally available. And he's not the person for me. You know,
No.
I wish him the fucking best. I'm happy to be single again, even though this entire time I have been single. But yeah, it is what it fucking is, and I'm gonna shut up about it now.
Yeah. No, bro, it's good. I'm so wet about it too. Like, honestly, you deserve like a tall man, and I'll just leave it at that. So basically, I'm so wet about, so it's so weird timing wise, but I did actually get reached out to by a woman recently, like asking me if I have, or no. She was like, has this guy flirted with you, and gave me his Instagram at. And it was definitely good vibes. Like, she liked all my pictures, like, before DMing me. So it wasn't like, you know, I was a little bit scared because I have been, like, messing with my exes and stuff. So I was just like, oh, no. I don't know who this is. They try and talk to me. But anyways,
But
I
she
was
came
like,
in peace, liking all your pictures. Like, it was love.
Right. She came in peace 100%. So I was like, that's good. And at first I was like, who the fuck is she talking about? I don't think so. But then I looked it up, and he indeed has. Tried to like flirt with me on some casual shit. It wasn't anything like gross and sexual. It was just like, I don't even know.
Like,
It was
how
just,
are
like,
you?
hi.
Like-
Yeah, like he was just talking to me. But he damn well shouldn't have been, obviously, now. So I was like, yeah, he has. I'm really sorry. I'd rather fuck you. I'm actually a lesbian. So joke's on him. And now we're just friends. Like, she listened to the podcast. So I feel like I just made a new friend. Definitely a wet situation. I love the way that she like went about it. I feel like I would have went about it differently in a more toxic way and like demonize the other woman, because I'm definitely guilty of like doing that, which a lot of us are.
Same. Yep.
So definitely like really fucking strength on her, and I hope that she, you know, finds fucking peace. She is a forever important member of the So Wet, So Dry community now. So
yeah, I feel like she already kind of like gets our topic for today. She like came in peace. She didn't hate the other woman. Like, the fact that she listened to the podcast, like, she's a real ass bitch. So if you are listening right now, we love you, and
We
leave
love you.
him. But also, understandably, if he's your baby daddy, it makes shit super complicated. So, you know, do what you feel is right, but end of the day, love how
No
she went
judgment
about that.
either way
Either
on
way.
our part.
I mean, we are, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We'd be real big hypocrites if we were. But yeah.
Okay,
so what about
dry.
that?
So dry. Not to bring it down, guys, but the holidays are coming up. I was supposed to go home for fucking Christmas. I have not been home to see my family in 4 years for either holiday. Part of the time I was with my ex. The other half of the time I was just, I don't know. Like my relationship with my family is complicated. At the end of the day, I'm blessed and privileged. Like my parents, my family are not bad people. I just suck at communicating with them and maintaining relationship through distance and other bullshit. But anyway, I was supposed to go. My man, who's not my man and definitely not my man anymore, was supposed to give me rides to the airport, and he was also going to watch my dog, which would have been made me able to afford going because I ran into financial issues. But he is obviously no longer in the fucking picture, so I can't go, and it sucks, and my family is upset about it. But at the end of the day, you know, it's fine. Like, I can deal with the holidays in a healthier way than I have been in the past, because I do not always deal with the holidays in a healthy way. And I can also repair my relationship with my family in better ways, which I've learned through therapy. Therapy has been like really helpful through this whole process. So yeah, it just kind of sucks. I'm dry about it, but at the end of the day, like I know what I need to do to like make it better. So
yeah, like just focus on like what you're gonna do moving forward rather than like dwelling in the past.
Exactly.
Totally. But yeah, bitch, we'll figure it out. I'm here for you. I'm gonna be at home fucking like bored out of my mind, so I can definitely FaceTime you and we'll figure it out. Yes. So this week I'm so dry because within 5 days apart, my ex-boyfriend got a wife, or I don't even know how long that's been going on, but I found out that he was getting married from the bitch herself, telling me, talking about the ring on my finger don't lie, because every time they are like on again, off again, when they're off, he'll like, you know, hit at me and try to talk to me, and I let him because I'm stupid and it's fun. But I'm also not stupid because like I know we're not going to get back together. Like I also just want to have fun too. Yeah. And I don't see him, but like we'll just like flirt and text, and she'll read the messages, and then she'll like say very specific things. I can't believe you said that, quotations to him. And it's like, I just want to like suck you like a good girl again, or like some shit. I know, and she literally would, like, go up on that message I sent and be like, ha ha. Like, she was making fun of me. I know, I didn't tell you all those details.
That's, like, fucked up.
But she was literally bullying me, and I was like, meanwhile, he's like, yes, please, like, all this shit. Like, he instigates it. So anyways, I found out that she was his wife. I got drunk, and I messaged him on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? You think this whole narrative of you thinking I'm going to just be sitting over here obsessed with you forever, I was like, that's over. Mm-hmm. That's long gone. Mm-hmm. You're a coward. You're disgusting. I hate you. Mm-hmm. And then whatever. He never replied. I sent out Instagram because I'm pretty sure I was blocked. I don't know. And then she emailed me the next day, and she was like, I hope this is the last time we ever have to converse about this. And I honestly just replied to the email. I was like, okay, like, he's yours. Like, did you read the message I sent? Like, I don't want him. Like, I was just saying my piece, like, whatever. Yeah. I just want him to know that, like, I hate him.
And it's done, yeah.
And I'm done, yeah. So, and then she's talking, like, she's like, you're such a good-spirited, you know, girl, you're so beautiful, you're so intelligent. Like, she starts whipping these compliments at me. Like, it was just so weird. Yeah. I was like, I don't even know. Because, like, I feel like to her, I really am the other woman. Yeah. Even though it's like, he literally put a baby in me. And we were together for 2.5 years and, like, traveled the world. Like, I was not just the other woman. I was before you.
Traveled the world?
We traveled an hour to San Francisco.
Yes.
So we traveled the world together. Yes, Fiji. Okay. So anyways, and then a week later, I start a new job. I'm working with my ex. I try to flirt with her again because I'm toxic. All I did was send an emoji. I didn't even fucking do anything. I just texted her an emoji on a Saturday night, and she had the audacity to inform me that she is now dating someone. And I was like, oh, fuck no. Yeah. No, you're not. No, you're not. So then I just blew up her phone, like 80 million texts, like very toxic. I don't promote doing that. It's actually really bad. I felt guilty about it after because I was like, yeah, I kind of went OD. But I was just hurt. I was just mad. I was fucking mad. And it just hurts that, you know, my 2 exes are very much in love with someone else and over me. Allegedly. And I'm just like, I feel like if you're like in love with me at any point during my life, like you should always love me. Like you shouldn't move on. Like that's stupid as fuck. I need you to be there waiting for when I'm ready. No, seriously, you guys. I know it's No, seriously, you guys. I know I'm sounding crazy right now, but it's genuinely how my mind works. Like I just when my exes move on, I just lose my shit.
But that was a lot back to back, and what like they were both within the last year or so, and like the other woman, like his wife, has been on your back for like a year. Like it's
we've talked about her, and like if you guys are OGs and you've listened to like the 3rd episode we ever made, I talk about the first time that she called me.
Right.
And there's been so many more phone calls, you guys. Like, and it's like a great conversation for this topic, which is like, am I in the wrong? Like, I want you guys to tell me, like, do you think I am like for flirting, even though I know that he does have another girlfriend, even though he left me for her and it's difficult for me. I'm only just a girl.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like a great, you know, segue into our topic, but overall definitely very dry about all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like as Fiji said, like we're gonna kind of start off talking about like, you know, the I'm coming to you as a woman text and more of just the idea of like, should this be a thing? Like, should you go to the other woman? Like, is it right? Is it wrong? Blah, blah, blah. So to start us off, I did find this article on Elite Daily that's like, if you find out you're the other woman, should you say anything? So this article is specifically like for my so what, like for this girl asking me, it's like if I went to her and I was like, wait, that's just like what it is. Oh my God.
No,
okay.
But it goes both ways, I think. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so I get a little confused about it. I'm like, who's the woman that's dating and who's the other woman? Like, what's going on? But anyways, this article is about if you find out that you're the other woman, as in not the girlfriend, you're the side bitch. Should you say anything to the main girl and like ruin her day by telling her that information? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll get into our thoughts, but Elite Daily's thoughts was essentially no. They said kind of like, I genuinely believe that if someone has done this, it's not your position to bear the burden of telling their girlfriend. And it's kind of, this whole article was more just like focus on yourself and like your safety and peace. Like, if you don't know, this person could be violent. Like all those TikToks, like people will like say like, I'm coming to you as another woman. And then the sound will be like, I'm about to go buy a gun.
Yeah.
Because like people like, it's like for real, you never know like who you're going to talk to and what they're going to do. So like the article was very much like, be safe out there, kids, you know? Like, and then basically it's like, you know, obviously like sharing this like news with like someone you have no idea is like a really difficult task. So like, why would you even want to like put yourself through that? Like let the universe play its course. Like, I don't know. We have our own opinions. I feel like based on the polls, y'all might not agree, but we'll get into it. But also the article said like, if you want to let their partner know out of spite or to dissolve the other relationship, be careful because you're not just hurting the cheater in the process. If you're hopeful that outing this behavior is going to free them up to be with you, think again. Assume if they didn't want to be in that relationship, they wouldn't end it. It's not your responsibility to clear the path for them. So it's kind of like, you know, if you're the other woman and you want to tell the girlfriend because you're like, oh, now we can be together.
Yeah.
Like that's not necessarily definitely going to be the end goal because it's like, exactly. If they didn't want to be in the relationship with them, they just wouldn't be in it. You like starting this drama, like, yeah, it might make the girl leave him, but that doesn't mean he's going to want to be with you or she, if we're, you know what I mean? So, and then lastly, basically the article said, if you do decide to tell the significant other, there are 2 general rules to follow. Number 1, don't disclose too much personal information and share the news the way you would want to receive it. And also, they recommended avoiding social media as a means of contact, as your profile offers a wealth of information about you, which I feel like is like interesting. I feel like it does happen on Instagram a lot, but yeah, for real. Like, you reach out to this woman, you have no idea who she is. Now she knows your mom, your sister. Like, she's like looking at your profile. So it is a little bit scary, and I feel like people are so strong in believing that like girl code and like letting the other woman know is like a feminism thing, but I personally don't think so.
Yeah.
I think 99% of the time it honestly is like really self-serving.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't think you should. I don't think you should.
I don't really think you should either, unless you're like a close friend. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, unless you already have a...
Well, yeah, unless it's like your best friends like fucking with your...
Yeah, but that's different because you're not the other woman. But like, yeah, I feel like it's usually like you hear about it as like the mistress and like she wants to be with the man, so she finally tells the wife and like da-da-da-da-da. But like, it's hard because I feel like if I was the wife, I would want to know and leave regardless.
But not from the woman herself.
But like,
because my thing is, I don't want to see them. I don't want to talk about them. It's gonna make it worse.
Would it hurt? But I would rather them be able to have them and they go do their messy shit and me be out of it, you know. But I from being in the perspective of the person with like being the wife. But if I was the other woman, I agree that you shouldn't. I don't think. Yeah,
I would never do that.
No, I don't.
Because
think you
technically, like,
you're in the wrong too, and you could have known for a while. Unless it's like, because there is a big thing of like a lot of girls being like, they find out that they're fucking with the same man and they didn't know, and then they let the other girl know, and then they become like BFFs and like whatever the fuck. But like, I don't know.
I feel like the only reason that I would, no, I still wouldn't. But it was like if they had some like abusive tendencies and got handsy with me or something. Because then I would feel more protective. Like, I hope she's okay. But I would probably tell her that. She's like, bitch, he's been doing that to me for years. You know what I mean?
But then you never know what he's going to do to you.
I know.
You know? So it's like, it's so tricky.
I know. And part of me just wants to say that, like, I wouldn't. Because I know that, like, the, like, obvious choice is just to do it. But I think it's more complicated than that. And, like, we'll definitely get into it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into some polls because we love to ask you guys what you thought if you've ever experienced this. And the first one that we asked you is, have you ever received the I'm coming to you as a woman DM? And only 38% said yes and 62% said no. So it's kind of like 60-40-ish. But actually I said only 38%. It's really like close to 50-50.
Yeah. And I definitely haven't. I've always been the other woman. So I would be the one doing the sending, which I haven't done either. So I definitely haven't. And I'm really glad because, I mean, when my ex's wife told me that they're getting married, that felt a little bit like it. Like, I was just like, but we're not together. So it makes no sense. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think like 38% saying yes is definitely high. Like, that's a good amount of people that have got that. And I feel like it's trending in our society, but it does like actually happen too. It's not just like a trend.
I have, but I don't know if this counts because like when I was with my ex, we were like together, but he started fucking with this other bitch. But, like, he literally came to my place right after her place, and I didn't really know. I, like, suspected, but I didn't know. And then he, like, started to, like, date her within, like, a week. And then she messaged me and was pretty much like, he's mine, leave him alone, like, going off. And I did something similar where I was like, you can have him. Like, I don't care. And it's like she was trying to paint me as the other woman, but me and him had been together for a year. And I was kind of just like, if you want him, fucking have him. I didn't give a fuck. And then he came running back to me. So I was like, you know, and then I stayed with him. But, like, I don't know if that's like I'm coming, because it was pretty much just her trying to fight me.
Right, 100%. But I think it's so interesting because it's like she was obviously the other woman in that situation. But she wasn't coming to you like, oh, woman to woman, this is what's been going on. She's like fucking delusional and is telling you. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
And I remember trying to be nice to her because I was like, okay, like, that's your man. Like, go ahead, wish you all the best. But just so you know, he was at my place last night. And like, I didn't say that in a way where I was like, he's mine, because I'm not gonna play that with a girl. Like,
especially
the last
not with
thing
him.
I'm gonna do
with this guy.
Like, I've stayed with men who have cheated on me. I've stayed with men who have done bad things. But like, one thing I'm not gonna. Well, that's a lie. I have had situations with my ex, because this is all the stories I'm going to talk about in this episode are with that ex. There was a time period where when we went out and he would talk to other girls, I would go up to the other girl and be like, why are you talking to my man? But it was because I couldn't do it with him, because he probably would have tweaked out and potentially hit me. So like, it was just a bad place and a bad time. And I look back at myself at that, like, I don't think I would have physically fought them, but like, it was definitely not.
But it's sad. Like, it makes you feel sad. Yeah.
Right. But like, I never did that like legit. It was always like when I kind of already knew it was some bullshit. I just wanted to flex up, like, this is my man, back off, which is
and sometimes it's like toxic and abusive relationships like drive you to that point, and they bring out another like demonic side of you that you're like, holy shit. Because you know it's not you, but it's like when you're with someone 24/7 feeding these delusions and making you feel like shit 24/7, like, you're gonna, lose it a little bit. So totally, I feel like that's definitely, especially, I remember when that shit went down too. That was crazy.
Yeah, that
with
shit was
the other woman.
And I took him back, guys. But like, part of me, like, I feel like that situation, I played it right, because I was just like, okay, like, I knew it wasn't gonna last. They were in love after like 3 days. Like, yeah, okay, have him.
Yeah.
And all his fucking issues. And then I think because I played it that way, and he saw she was crazy, he came back to me because he knew I was like smarter than that. Which, like, like, he came back to me, like, whatever. But still, like, like, it was just some bullshit. She looked stupid. You never really look good. You always look stupid when like you come to a woman like that, because it's like, you're just acting like this man is a child. And like,
why aren't you talking to him? And that's the thing with my ex's wife. Like, I'm just like, and bro, I didn't even tell you this, but she's all like, he's not the same man that you were in an open relationship with. She goes, he's learning about principles and morals. I'm like, what are you, fucking converting him to Christianity?
Is he your son? He's not your fucking son. And he's
still
not
your son.
You. He's still texting you.
You're not supposed to fucking like have to do all that with someone. And exactly. And she's even said like, oh, like, men will be men, but like, you shouldn't press him so hard, like, sexually, because obviously he's gonna want to have sex with you. She's literally said that to me, and I'm like, girl,
okay,
you're so delusional.
I want to talk about for a second, because I feel like that is a part of girl code, which I know we're gonna get into like in a minute, but just real quick, it's like, that's like never fair, I don't think, to be like,
at all.
Like, it's literally, I will say that there has been some situations where like, I do think girls can throw themselves at men when they know they have a girlfriend. Like, I do think that exists, but I never think it's okay for you to like shame the other woman, because at the end of the day, if your man's giving into it, it's still his fucking problem and your relationship's problem. Like,
I'm not in your relationship, and to be honest with you, like, he makes it very confusing for me to even know like what he's doing. And I've straight up asked him before when they were off again, like, are you single right now? And he's told me yes. So like, I'm not going to look into it. Like, I'm not in your relationship. And at the end of the day, I had a fucking history with him. That's why this shit gets so complicated. And that's why, like, I don't have one firm view on, like, should you reach out and send the text, like, all that shit. Yeah. Because, like, from what I'm seeing and hearing and experiencing, it all just hurts. Like, it's all just, like, very sad. And, like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't fantasize about, like, me and you, like, pulling up to a club in LA that they're at and, like, fucking just, I don't know, doing something. Because it's just, like, but, yeah, I don't know what I was going with that.
Okay, yeah, well, the next poll, we're definitely going to, like, dig deeper on those things. But, like, have you ever sent the I'm coming to you as a woman? We asked you guys that, and only 24% said yes, and 76% said no. So, less than the other poll for yes. And for this one, I don't think I have.
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't. I would never do that to myself, personally.
Like, even with friends.
I never said I was a good person. You know what I mean? Like, I am a good person. But I never said I was, because I am very like self-focused, especially when it comes to dating, because you kind of have to be. It's like a fucking war zone out
Right.
here, bro. Like people taking this man, that man, this bitch getting flopped around that friend group. Like
Yeah.
it's chaotic, and I'm not gonna like start drama like that. Like if I don't even know that person, I'm sorry, I
I'm
don't owe
not.
you shit, bro.
I don't owe you shit. And also, like,
I don't owe you
another
any.
thing with like girl code, which I know we're gonna get into again, but like even when you're not the other woman, but like you know this girl has a boyfriend and like maybe you see him flirt with someone else or like he's flirting with your friend. Like I know a lot of women who like take it upon themselves to like do that. Like I personally would never, unless it was like you and it was like very obvious. But like I'm more of the mindset where it's like, you know, I believe in monogamy, but like also like it could be flirting, it could be not. Sometimes I would rather be ignorant. And like I'm not going to place myself in their relationship and just say like all monogamy means he can never talk to a woman and I saw him talking to a woman in this way at a party, so I'm going to tell her because she should know. Like no,
Right.
that is surveillance and that's like creepy and that's like spying and like you don't know what their relationship type is, their agreement. Like you're inserting yourself in some drama that you don't
Like,
want to be in.
what if she already knows? What if
Right.
she's like, oh yeah, like we had a conversation about this last night? That's what I mean. It's like you don't know, and like what fucking nerve you have to do that. And I know it's like it's all in good, like it's feminism, we're girls, be there for the girls, but I don't think this whole I'm coming to you as a woman is feminist at all. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. And I don't think society's modern day, outdated day version of girl code, I think girl code within itself is fucking stupid. I don't like it. I
Yeah.
think like we should have human code, like, cause I'm like all for, I love girls girl. I love that. And I love what,
know if, and I'm afraid to say this honestly,
Yeah.
because of
You
like
should
our
be.
podcast and like women listening and like TikTok and all of that. And like, guys, please just hear me out. Just hear me out. Do I support women before men? 100%. But I think a lot of the rules of girl code are used to oppress other women and to like one up each other and like make each other feel bad and like adhere to these like things of like heterosexual norms and monogamy that like, you know, like what if they have an agreement that's open and you're telling her this? You're only trying to make her feel bad that she's not appeasing the norms of
yeah.
you
And
know?
what if the agreement is like, babe, like you can do what you want, like once a month or like whenever you want even, but I don't want to know about any of it. And then you have a girl that directly reaches out. It's like my thing is like the biggest thing with like the other woman, what hurts me the most, and this is 100% like ego shit.
Yeah.
It's the comparison. What does she
Yes.
have that I don't? Why
Yes.
did my partner feel like they needed to go do that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to fucking like, that's why it's like with my ex-girlfriend, I don't want to see her ex at all because
Yeah.
I don't want to see what she looks like. I don't want to see if she's prettier than me. I don't want to see if she's uglier than me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see like, because I'm just going to like compare and be like, well, why her? And like, I already know she's older than me and that sucks. I hate that because like, you know, like older girls are hot. You
Yeah.
know, so. Okay. So the little research that we did on girl code, I basically like listened to, well, it was like a radio episode, but it was like scribed into an article. It was like the BBC radio. I just noticed that. Anyways. Okay, so basically it was just saying like simply like girl code is like the rules of being a woman when it comes to dating. Like you have to tell, you know, your friend if their boyfriend's cheating on them, like all that stuff we already know. The article basically said like I would say girl code is a fuzzy set of rules that are used by women to police other women's behaviors.
Right.
And that's exactly what I think it is. And then it went on to say, like, I would say girl code is mostly about pitting women against other women. It focuses normally on heteronormative dating, and usually ideas like don't steal your friend's man or don't chat up someone your friend is talking to and don't date your friend's ex. And I definitely feel like not as much now, but like in high school, I was one of those annoying ass girls that was like, I like him. We're not together. He doesn't want to be with me, but none of y'all bitches can talk to him.
I was the opposite because I had friends who had crushes on guys and
And I knew it was
bitch
annoying.
that was like, you know, you have a crush on him, but you've never talked to him. And if he's talking to me, that's not my fucking problem.
He's not yours.
Like,
right.
you can't claim ownership. I feel like if it's your ex, I mean, if it's your ex, it's still.
That's different.
I still don't. I feel like for you to talk to one of my exes would be crazy because we're best friends, especially if I dated them for years. But for you to talk to someone that I just like fucked once or like talked to, like even my ex, honestly, like I don't have ownership over them. Like you, especially someone you just have a crush on that you haven't really talked to, like. What?
Yeah, and we have kind of done that, like with your friend that's a girl, like you like had sex with her. And then I remember I was like so awkward. I knew that you didn't care because I knew that you weren't like consistently into her like that. It was just like a fun thing. But I was like, I mean, like, do you mind? Because I'm horny and desperate.
And I was like, I don't care.
And you were like, I don't care. And I knew that you were being for real. So it was like, fine. So it's like we have done that. But yeah, I agree. It's also especially because like I know everything about your exes, like you know everything about mine. It's like, what, you don't need to get to know them. You already know them because I've told you everything about their existence, you know? So it's just like, but yeah. So hate that. Also, I just want to add too, it's a lot of times girl code is about regulating what women do and not so much about what men do. They're free to date your friend and there's no kind of X code, which I think is unfair, which is like exactly, you know what I mean? If anything, yeah. And then it's very possessive. I've dated this man or I like this man, so he's off limits. He's mine now. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's this outdated feminism shit. And it's like, this is girl code. This is how we want to empower each other by like policing behaviors. And we're not talking about like, obviously, like if I were to go after the situationship guy that you had just talked to, I DM'd him and I was like, you know, I'm wet thinking about you. Like that is 100% fucked up. Like that is not what we're talking about. I'm talking about the whole, like the little nuances of things. And it's even like someone you're not really friends with. Like, can you be with their ex? Like, yeah, like,
yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, like, I subscribe to the things about girl code of like, oh, if a girl's bleeding through her pants, like, tell her, like, you know, protect other women if she looks uncomfortable at the bar, like, those types of things. 100% girl.
And like, leave together, check in, like, me and Fiji love to like go off and like do our thing, mostly because we just want to be flirty and we're not like flirting in front of each other. We're not those types of like fucking best friends that are weird like that. I don't know. But we do check in. Like, I'll see her and I'll be like, you good? Well, like, I'm like, make eye contact with me immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't
make sure we're good. But even that situation when you were in the bathroom and like, whatever, like, that was a girl code thing supposedly, but you were good. Remember when you were sucking dick in the bathroom? We've told this story before.
Oh, yeah. When I was sucking dick in the bathroom. Yeah. And I was good. And those... I know your friends like tried to be like girl code, help me, but I was like, no, I'm like enjoying myself. Can you please stop?
Leave me alone.
But
and
also
that's
what was
kind of policing women because that's like, oh, she's being taken advantage of. Oh, you're being messy. Don't do this. Oh, like
no, this
whatever.
was all me. I took him into the bathroom.
Right,
like,
exactly.
He did not force me.
I have my own sexual agency. Like, let me do this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Just because y'all don't,
doesn't
and
mean
that's
that
fine.
I can't. And
not
that's
like.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, we get passionate. We talk over each other. But no, I was gonna say too. Also, that time, like New Year's ish, where like we were like at that like weird, like we were with those two weird dudes, and it wasn't fun. I fucked mine. You didn't. But I started crying because something bad happened. And say that you didn't want to leave. Like, you did want to leave. But say you didn't. Leave. That was girl code where it was like, I'm crying. Like, we need to go. Yeah. Like, the night's over.
Yeah. Like, someone is in danger or someone is upset. Like, you go with your friend. Like,
I love that girl code.
That is, like, protecting other women and keeping other women safe. But, like, we're talking more about... And I thought about it, again, because we took a little break, guys. And, like... I don't know if you remember this situation, but a guy was fucking around this time and a little before last year. And then I was hanging out with a group of girls after going out. And this one girl was going to go. She was like leaving. She was like, oh, I'm going to go see my little dude. And I was like, oh, who? Like, whatever, just like on some girl shit. And then she told me, and I had fucked him like a week or two ago. And I told her. And I don't know if that was right for me to tell her, but my feeling was we fucked without a condom. And like he can fuck whoever he wants. We weren't together. And part of me kind of feels like I told her on some like, oh, well, like I fuck him too.
Ego
like,
shit.
Like
yeah.
ego shit, you know? And also with that same dude, there was another girl later who was a friend of a friend, and we all hung out, and like come to find out like she was fucking with him too. And then like she told me about like a potential STD thing, like all this stuff. So like I ended up confronting him later and like talking to him and being like, yo, I
That
just
was
don't appreciate
iconic.
it. And he felt bad as fuck. Like he was like, oh, like you're right, da da da. Cause I'm like, no, like whatever. Like in the way it wasn't like I found out he was fucking her and like I DM'd her or whatever, but like she was in my house. Like she was in my house about to go and I just fucked him. So like I don't know if it was completely right. Part of me feels like I shouldn't have told her and just like whatever. But part of me felt like I should as girl code just because we didn't fuck with condoms and like I would have wanted to know. And like I like at the end of the day, like neither of us are dating him. We're not in love with him. Like none of that shit. But like I don't know.
But I think what you said and like the only reason why I feel like you did is she was in your house and like you guys were like developing a friendship type shit. She's in your home and she's like all excited to tell you like, oh, I'm about to see my new boo. And you're like trying to tell her stuff about your life too. And you're like, wait, like what? So I feel like that's a situation. And also you were like lit. So you weren't like overthinking it. You were kind of just like, and it wasn't like, oh, like I'm going to go see my baby daddy. Like I don't think you would have if she was like,
if I knew that it was like her man and like whatever, like no, I don't think so. And also like she was a friend of a friend, like she was a friend of my really good friends. And then they had like texted me later and they were like, oh, like they asked me more questions about it. And like when I was sober, I kind of felt weird because I was like, I don't know if I should have said this. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, it kind of goes to that thing of, like, we weren't together. Like, he can do whatever he wants. Like, we can fuck whoever we want. Maybe I should have used a condom with him. Like, all that type of stuff. But I think that situation, both of them, I think it came down to these girls are in my house. And we're hanging out. And, like, with him, it was just on some, like, after going out sex shit. Like, we weren't having, like, a friendship, like, a close relationship. So I felt like I owed it to them more than I did to him. Like, the relationship mattered more with them. But still, I don't know.
That's super interesting, though, because that's like a I'm coming to you as a woman DM IRL. But it wasn't like I'm coming to you as a woman. Just like that within itself is just like, ugh, I just don't like it. And I saw a TikTok that it was like the white girl version of I'm coming to you as a woman is when they say, hey, girly.
Yeah.
And why is that so true?
Hey,
I was
girly.
like, that's hilarious.
Okay, so that brings us into our next poll that we asked you guys, which is, do you think girl code requires you to tell another woman if you know she's being cheated on? And 62% of you guys said yes, 38% said no, so it's kind of 60-40, which is close to 50-50. And
requires is crazy. There is no requirement.
Yeah, I don't like, I really feel like unless that is your best, I don't know, like, because I'm like, I just said an example of how I did, but like, if it was
she was
you,
in your house and you were drunk, like, I think we just need more info.
I feel like it depends.
But we were blanket statement asking y'all, does it require you? Mm-hmm. And you said, yeah? It does not require you, my absolute darlings. It doesn't. Doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. If it's your best friend, your sister, your fucking mom, yeah. The people you have loyalty to, yes. Yeah. But I'm just because we're all women and we're kumbaya doesn't mean I am loyal to this bitch in New York that I've never met.
Right.
I'm also, not.
Like,
that
again, you don't know what emotional state that's gonna put her in. She could know her man has cheated multiple times and accept it.
That's their shit to deal with.
Send her over a whole other mental breakdown. Like, even with my ex, like, I knew, like, he was cheating on me, like, all this stuff. Like, I would have, and he was also abusive. I would have rather not known. I didn't want to know. I was not ready to leave him at the fucking time, no matter what the fuck he did to me. I didn't want to know. And I have a perfect example of that with she was like,
someone's
my
like
roommate.
Coughing outside my fucking balcony, bro. It's
Ew,
so
get it together. COVID vibes, like. Anyway, this bitch, we were roommates. She was like, I would say she was like a best friend, sister vibe.
She
at
was
the
my
time.
replacement. Let's be honest. Right?
She didn't replace you completely because we were still friends at the time, but you did
And
not
remember,
live
that's
in the
what
state.
I texted you too. I was
You
like,
were upset, yeah.
you were upset.
She could have never been you, and she knew that because I would talk about you. But like, regardless, like we lived together, we were close. It's a whole thing. But anyway, she knew, she lived with me, and my ex lived with me. She knew he was abusive. She knew he was treating me like shit. She knew he was cheating with other girls, all of this stuff. I remember this one specific night, it was during COVID. We were all like locked down, and we had this whole friend group of people that would just get drunk in our apartment. Like we were there 24/7. And she locked us in the bathroom, and she had his phone. She was like, Fiji, I have his phone. Fiji, I have his phone. Like, we got to go through his DMs. Like, she was so determined, like, to get me to leave him. Like, she really like wanted me to leave him, and understandably so. You wanted me to leave him at the time. Like, a lot of people did. Like, he was not for me. But I just remember being like, bitch, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see it. Like, I know. Like, trust me, I fucking know that he's probably
But I'm not
DMing
ready.
other girls. But I don't want to see it. And also, I don't want to deal with the consequences of him coming into this bathroom right now and knowing that we're going through his phone. Because he will tweak, and she should have known that too. And then come to later
and
find
I'm
out.
scared.
And I'm scared. Come to later find out, I still don't know the truth. It was so complicated at the time. But he told me that they had kissed. And she told me that he had tried to, but she didn't, and she would never do that to me, and da-da-da. But I tried to fight her. I, like, smashed her mirror. I destroyed her room. Her ex called the cops on me. Like, it was a whole fucking thing. But I felt like she did that out of guilt, and I felt like maybe she was doing it out of being a friend. But in that moment, I was like, you're not really being a friend to me, because look, at the end of the day, I'm not ready to fucking leave him. Like, I'm not going to. He's living with me. It's the fucking pandemic. I'm not leaving him, and he might be DMing other girls. I don't want to fucking see it. I don't want another girl to compare myself to. Like you said, like, I can't deal with it. This was after the other bitch shit. And
this,
like, go ahead.
This is a great example, though, because this is a great example of, like, girl code, because in her mind, she probably thought she was, like, the bestest friend in the world. But at the end of the day, like, even if the relationship wasn't abusive, like, it's not your place. Like, you really stole his phone. Like, it is kind of savage, and, like, people might look at it as, like, ride or die shit. But at the end of the day, she should have known you, like, well enough and known the state that you were in, that, like, that is not what you needed. Like, you honestly just needed a friend, someone to support you and, like, stick by you no matter what, like, not do that. But it's like, I feel like that happens a lot in our society, like, especially with, like, best friends. Like, I feel like people do that.
And I think it's like honestly a pick me thing to do, because I feel like, you know, we talk about pick me's with men, but I think there's pick me's with women as well, and friends. And I feel like, especially
I was
once
one
I
of them
found
in
out
high school.
later, yeah, like, especially once I found out later that, like, they had potentially kissed or, like, whatever the fuck, like, I was like, you're trying to show me all this shit to, like, appease your ego, that, like, you might have done something, or you're trying to, like, be like, look at how, like, solid and loyal I am, and, like, all this stuff. Like, don't fight my battles for me. Like, I can fight them by myself, and, like, this is not helping, you know?
No, seriously. And it's like, she really thought that she was too. It's honestly kind of sad. I mean, she was definitely, like, damaged, like, sorry, in her own way, like, unfortunately. But, like, and yeah, I just feel like that's what girl code, that's what they be thinking it is, like, going above and all like that. But it's like, honestly, what she did is, like, pretty toxic within itself, you know? Like, there was no need for you, especially with someone abusive like your ex. Like, he honestly, it could have been scary, you know?
And it's like, you can argue that, like, me as a woman is not girl code, because, like, listen to your best friend, listen to your friends before these men, like, put them before. But, like, I just want to say, like, guys, that's not realistic. And, like, to be in love with a person and share that, like, intimate connection, friendship, sexual connection, all of that goes a lot of times, unfortunately, deeper than friendships do. Like, Autumn, like, is probably the only person that I would die for. But, like, we know with each other that, like, we can't judge what we do with our romantic partners, because at the end of the day, that relationship is completely different, and I'm gonna love you regardless of what you decide to do and not change it, because I can never understand that. Like, you know?
Right. Because you're not in it. Like, you're not in the relationship. We can tell each other everything about our relationships, but at the end of the day, it's like those intense feelings of love, like it's not like they go above friendship, but it's like it makes you act a little crazier. Whereas like our friendship, I feel like I have my head on straight all the time. But when I'm like in love with someone, my head's not really on straight because it's so intense. So it's just like a different type of thing. I know, and I feel like they look down on like girls that like, because it's happened to me twice where like my best friend was in an abusive relationship and we stopped being friends. The first time she stopped being friends with me, and the second time like I stopped being friends with you. So like,
yeah,
and it's like, but I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I would never look down on a girl for like choosing her man over her friend. Like, obviously it hurts, but it just hurts like anything else does.
and they
it doesn't,
usually come back. Like
they,
with
I mean,
us,
yeah,
like,
they always come back, and it's like, have peace within that too, because it's like, honestly, like relationships don't last forever, but like real friendships do last forever. So
Yeah.
that's what like I had peace in with like those two situations. But I know, and it's just like the policing the other woman's behavior. Like, I just keep going back to that because it's almost like, I almost said her name, but you guys in that bathroom, like she's trying to force you to do something, right? Like, even if it's, you know,
and, like,
maybe
I'll give her that. Like, we were all living together at the time, and it was bad. Like, it was bad. Like, he was punching holes in the wall. Like, he was abusive towards me. Like, there were screaming matches. It was bleeding into like her and like her relationship with her man at the time. Like, it was bad, and I understand like why she wanted like to do that, but like it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah,
like,
it
wasn't
nothing
gonna
was gonna work.
Nothing was gonna work, and that's the whole thing. You got to fight your own battles, and like I feel like that's why our friendship works so well, because like we'll be here to listen and give each other advice, but we never try to like be like, I'm not going to talk to you unless you do this or like whatever. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, you're your own person. You're going to do whatever you think's right at the time. And my job is to just be there for you.
Right.
You know?
And even knowing that, it's like sometimes it still is hard to like tell your friends that too, because especially with these toxic relationships, it's like, we talked about this the other day. Like, once you speak it to someone that you care and like trust with like everything, then it becomes like more of a reality. So sometimes it's easier to just like live in delusion land by yourself. I feel so comfortable there. Like, I love it there. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is crazy. It's interesting too, because we were gonna do like a whole episode about girl code, but I feel like this is more fitting because like at the end of the day, like I'm coming to you as a woman is girl code. It's just like a specific thing, but there's so much we could talk about with girl code. So definitely, like, if we've said anything so far that you want us to expand upon, we should. But wanna do this next poll?
Yeah, I do have one other story, but I don't know where it fits. I don't know where this fits, but guys, like, this is probably one of like the things I probably will feel guilty for the rest of my life. But me and Autumn had a friend that we were close with. And Autumn had a threesome with her and her man because they were in an open relationship at a point. And
everyone else was outside listening. Remember?
Yes.
We were in that tiny ass hotel or apartment.
It was an Airbnb. Yeah, it was.
And
like
we were just in the bedroom and everyone could hear, like, what the fuck? Anyways.
It was like a time. But anyway, like her man, we knew them because I had met her man.
Oh, yeah, this story.
Yeah, I had met her man a while ago before I went to London. Me and him were kind of talking, and then I like met my other ex, like fell in love with him, stayed with him, like whatever. I cut it off with this guy. I came back, and like we became friends, and he actually hung out with my ex. Like he was dating this new girl, like whatever. I broke up with my ex. Like our friend groups like merged. So like I knew her through him, and like there was this one night where I went out and she wasn't there, and he was with me, and he always was very sexual and like tried to get with like everyone, and I knew this, and I was not interested in him. Like I was not,
and his dick wasn't even that big for him to be all like that. It was not even that
big, like whatever. But like we went out, and like he came back to my place to like wait for an Uber or like whatever. And we ended up having sex. And like, guys, I've talked about it before, but like, I feel like I have a bad habit of like getting into these manic episodes where I'm not feeling great about myself, getting drunk and fucking people as some sort of just like coping mechanism, self-harm, like whatever. Like, I feel like that's what it was. And he like kind of like just like put himself on me. Like, I'm not saying it was sexual assault, rape, none of that, but like it just like I gave in to some shit I probably shouldn't have. Like, I had autonomy, but I did it. And so I felt guilty as fuck because I was friends with her. And even though he said we're in an open relationship, it's fine, like whatever, like we're like, so I'm like, whatever. And I felt like I should not tell her because I knew it would ruin our relationship. It would make her upset. And I was also friends with him, so it put me in this really uncomfortable place. But like every time that we hung out as a friend group, I would go outside to smoke, whatever. He would come out and try to flirt with me, try to touch me, try to do all this stuff. And the guy I was with at the time noticed and was like all uncomfortable with it, whatever.
Oh,
so
what
it
a
was this
nightmare.
whole thing. And he wouldn't stop. Like I would be like, whatever his name is, stop. Like whatever his name is, stop. Like this is not happening. Like this isn't a thing. Like I'm friends with this girl. And so finally it became too much. And also the guy I was with was putting all this pressure on me. Like I told him I was going to tell her, and I went to message her, but he had already told her. He like told her before I did. And then like she hated me, she blocked me, she cut me off, like whatever. Like obviously, like I ate it, like fucking standable. Like we were friends. Like I'm fucking
she hated
sorry,
me,
bitch.
she blocked me.
All the things, like I fucking get it. You feel me? And then like a couple years later, like I moved to Atlanta, and like she came to visit, and she like texted me and messaged me, and we follow each other now. Like we're cool. Like he was trash. Like he was honestly trash. I was trash for that situation. Like I still feel fucking bad.
Right.
But
that was a rough one. It was hard because the friend group thing was very real, and like Fiji and I had friends in college, but like these people like really just gave us like, it was such a vibe. Like I miss it to this day.
We were like so close, and that's why I didn't want to tell her, because I knew it was going to ruin everything.
And it did.
But the thing is like I probably would have never told her unless he didn't stop, and he would not stop trying to get at me when we were all out
so
together.
It would like stayed alive longer than it should have,
Yeah.
because he's like, oh, we fucked, remember, I'm gonna try to touch you again. Dude,
I
I
like,
know.
No, I'm not. That was a one-time thing, like a fucked up thing. I'm not gonna consistently be the other woman, you know. So I don't know.
Right.
Like that was a whole fucking thing, ruined a friendship, all that. But life, man, I don't know. We live and we learn, you know.
Okay, so this next poll we asked y'all is, when your man cheats on you with another woman, is it okay to confront her? Sorry for the heteronormative language here. Apologies. Mm-hmm. But basically, when they said yes, 10% said yes, 15% said no, and 75% said it depends. Like, of course, like typical. Obviously it depends, but I feel like when your man cheats on you with another woman, is it okay to confront her? I mean, that's essentially what my ex's wife was doing, because he was cheating. I wasn't cheating on you.
Yeah, she was confronting you. Yeah.
She was confronting me. That's essentially what it was. So because of that, I say no. Leave them alone.
I say it depends, and because if it's your friends, like how it was with me and my roommate that I talked about, which the alleged, and I'm not saying I went about it in the right way. I did not need to smash her mirror and destroy her room and get the cops called, but
she kind of
yeah, a little bit. But I think it depends on your relationship with the woman.
100%. That's bottom line. It depends on your relationship with the woman. If she's a stranger, like, and it's embarrassing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like your partner's cheating on you. Like, this is not me. Like, I'm not in the relationship. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, I have this one situation in high school too that I thought of where I really was the consistent side bitch, like other women. And I definitely talked about it in our side bitch episode, but the girlfriend definitely ended up texting me and was like trying to fight me and like all this shit. And it was valid because I did know about it. I was fine with it. I was in love with this man. I was also like 15 years old too. Okay. Yeah. And she was 18, like she was older because he was 18 too, but older daddies for life. I'm sorry. We're like drunk at this point. But anyways, I don't remember exactly because it was so long ago, but she definitely came at me, was trying to fight me. And I feel like in that situation, it was valid because I knew everything that was going down. We all went to the same school. I would watch them like hold hands and then I'd fuck him at 3 a.m. later. Not fuck him. I just sucked dick
I
back
had one
then.
like that too, but she didn't try to fight me. But yeah.
Yeah, she tried to fight me. Woo! I was scared.
And there's a lot of that goes on in Atlanta that I've seen just being out, like girls fighting over guys and like literally beating each other up.
Right. It's not giving girl code.
Yeah, not at all. But like I said, I was guilty of that, like going up to bitches out and being like, why were you talking to my man?
Right. I know. So it's all about perspective at the end of the day. And because you're my best friend and I knew what you were going through, I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like you needed that. So
but
maybe
it still
like
wasn't right. Like I feel like but hindsight is 2020 and like
it wasn't right, but it's okay. Like it's okay.
Like it's okay to a point.
Okay, yeah.
To a point. But go ahead.
Anyways, so the next poll we did was how do you feel about women who stay with their man after they cheat? Because I feel like that's like a huge stigma. And I feel like a lot of women are like, even if they really want to stay with someone after they cheated on them, they feel like it was resolved. It comes with like a lot of like feelings of embarrassment to like go public about that and post them again. If like, you know, the whole school knew or the whole family knew, like it's all... Yeah. So it's hard. And again, the stigma's not on the man. No one thinks twice about what he's doing. It's all about why did she stay with him? Go
back. Yeah.
Right. So how do you feel about women who stay with their man after they cheat? 13% of y'all said she has no self-respect. 22% said, honestly, I get it. Love is love. 6% said if the other bitch is eliminated, then she's safe. And 59% said it depends on how it was resolved. So obviously it depends on how it was resolved was the winner. I personally voted for, honestly, I get it. Love is love. And I saw you voted for that too. I was like, oh, we on the same page.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're just compassionate as bitches. But I'm just like, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like cheating is horrible. I like, have I ever been cheated on? I don't think
You've been in open relationships.
Right.
Like,
so, because I knew that they were going to cheat. So I was like, no, I'm just kidding. But I was like, let's be open.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever... No, I really have. I don't know about it. If you have cheated on me, if any of my exes are watching, don't tell me. I don't want to know. But, yeah. But I've definitely been with people that have done cheat-like things. Yeah. And I've stayed, but not like full-on cheated. So I get it. Like, love is love. You're going to do what you're going to do. She has no self-respect. Like, to an extent, I get that. But I feel like that's a jump. You know what I mean? And it's also kind of sad.
Men that voted for that too, which is like, all right, bro.
Well, I saw some women that I like fuck with vote for that. I was like, oh. Like, I thought you were a good person. And I think you still are a good person. But I'm confused.
Yeah, it's like, again, like holding
that's
ourselves
so
accountable,
deep.
Like all this shit. Like, yeah, I know. Like, in a perfect world, like you would respect yourself and you would leave them. But like, I also like, I was talking about this recently with the guy that I was seeing, but we have an episode coming up in a couple weeks that's like cheating related. But like, I feel like cheating is very complex. And especially if you're like in a long-term, like people aren't perfect. You know,
monogamy is also weird.
Monogamy is weird. Like you can't say, I don't know. You can't say no.
Because there's so many different layers to cheating too. There's emotional cheating. There's physical cheating. There's you just thought about it cheating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much. And it's also like, yeah. So I don't know. I don't really like that one. But I feel like it depends on how it was resolved. Yeah. But I feel like just overall, I feel like we just should never judge someone that goes back that cheated. Like they cheated on them just because that's, you know, a relationship is such a big thing. And maybe that was like a really hurtful thing that happened. But I don't think it's like earth shattering. Like I know trust is important. So a lot of people feel like, you know, once you cheat, you never go back. And I do get that. And maybe if I had been cheated on, like I would feel differently. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know. It depends on how it was resolved. So
I mean, Beyonce went back to Jay-Z.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Offset and Cardi B.
Like, there's so many people. And I feel like the whole, like, it depends on how it was resolved.
Did
like,
it. So we
like,
can all shut the fuck up.
It depends on how it was resolved thing. Like, you can feel that way for your intimate relationship. And that's maybe how you approach things. But for other people, like, I feel like it's just, you don't have a place to decide or even need to know how it was resolved. Like, that's none of your business. So I feel like the best route is love is love. Just let them fucking do their thing, you know? Like, it comes down to their relationship, their personal business. Like, what fight do we have in any of that unless it's our own relationship?
That's what I'm saying. And it's the same thing as why I don't think you should send I'm coming to you as a woman text, because that has nothing to do with you. Like, you don't know that relationship. You don't know anything. And it's like, even if he's or she's telling you all this stuff about the relationship, you still don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I feel like it's a good rule of thumb for all of us. Like, if it's a stranger, don't do it. And I feel like a lot of people think that that's so anti-feminist. And I really just disagree. I really strongly disagree.
Yeah, and coming from I've been fucking cheated on, like, that I didn't want to know. Like, I would have rather fucking not known in certain instances. So it's like, you know, it's complicated. Use your fucking judgment, and like, everyone can have their own girl code and their own friendships and relationships or whatever. And if you want to fucking do it, do it. But like, we just don't think it's right. Like,
right. And like, the closest thing I think to being cheated on is like when we were in New York, and like my ex was like with someone else, but it's like she told me about it because we were in an open relationship. So it wasn't cheating is all because it's a secret and you don't know. It's like a lack of trust. Yeah. It hurt like I'd been cheated on, but I was directly told what was happening, and she still let me stay in her apartment. Like, we were good. Like, she was just poly and I wasn't. That was the situation there. But yeah. All right, guys. So let's get into some listener stories. We are just going to share a few, but they're honestly really funny. So we got to get to them. One of our listeners said, my hot take, cheating isn't real unless you're married. And like, go off, bitch. I feel you. I feel like monogamy is just weird in general. The whole like thing about marriage, monogamy, polyamory, we should do a whole episode about that.
Yeah, we really need
because it's very confusing to me, because like you can feel intellectually about something, but emotionally a completely different way. So that's why, like, okay, what is that whole thing on Hinge where people are like ethically non-monogamous? So you are monogamous, but ethically you're not? What does that mean?
Ethically non-monogamous is what you were with your first girlfriend. It's when you are choosing to be non-monogamous, but you like have a conversation about things, and you have ethics with your non-monogamy.
Okay, hot.
And that's how I feel about this thing. Like, I agree that cheating isn't really real unless you're married, but I think that it depends on your communication in the relationship. Like, if you agree that we are monogamous and we shouldn't cheat on people, like, then if you cheat, then I think it counts, obviously. But like, if you're like, okay, you know, we have this, like, we're not like serious yet, so like, we can fuck around. I think it's all about your ethics.
I've definitely done cheat like things, like when I was dating someone and I like maybe smiled at someone from across the room that I shouldn't have. But that's cheating? A smile from across the room. But some people would say that.
And we have an episode coming up.
Oh, we'll talk about it then.
Yeah. Stay tuned, guys, because we have a whole episode coming up soon. And not next week, but the week after. That's all about like
what is cheating.
Right. Things. Yes.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. The next poll, someone said, why did you repeat the same poll 3 times? It's not the same. It's different.
He was hating.
He was fucking hating. It is not the same poll. The poll is different. It's, did you send it? Did you receive it?
Did you read it? Did you go to school? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
The next one said, I fucked a girl my ex cheated on me with because I wanted to see the hype. I bow down to you.
I
truly,
love you.
Because bitch. And I've literally like romanticized about like hooking up with girls that my ex had hooked up with when we were in an open relationship together, just to be like, and I did flirt with them. I've talked about it on the podcast. So like, feel that, love that.
Love her, dope as fuck. And the last one, this girl posted my ex's hand on her thigh, and I knew it was him because of the tat. So I sent her that same hand holding my titty. And that is funny as fuck, honestly. Like, it's kind of like a subtle way of being like, fuck you, bitch, without trying to fight her.
The
like,
titty
I don't
hold,
know.
though, she really took the thigh grab straight to the titty hold.
She was
like,
yeah.
That was like, he's in your DMs, so he's in my bed. She's like, he's touching your thigh, like, but he's on my titty.
Right. But I
Upset.
still, look, babe, I support you in whatever you want to do. But I'm still kind of like, I don't want to fight with a bitch over a man.
No, I don't. I really
don't. But if you do you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, I think decisions like that, although toxic, are fun. And they add spice to your life.
It's funny. Yeah, a little toxicity adds spice to the
and also
relationship
it's like,
in your life.
Like, she started it with posting that picture. You know what I mean? She started it.
Exactly. All right, guys. So we talked a lot about this topic, but we're going to wrap it up as we always do, talking about what we're wet, dry, and confused about the topic. I am wet that I have grown since my past.
Yeah.
In just, we're
always wet about our growth.
I know, we're wet about growth, but like, bitch, I was like, I've never been the other woman. I completely situation. Completely forgot. Have grown since then. Also, the whole situation of me telling the other bitches, I don't know if that was right or wrong. I feel like rule of thumb, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. But when I'm drunk, that's really hard for me to do. Extremely. So I'm just wet. Like, this is so corny, and I say this every episode, but I'm wet that we're talking about it and really breaking it down,
Yeah.
But, like, I'm wet that, like, we can decide our own girl code, and I feel like us as best friends, like, we've really done that in our friendship. Like, we've been like, okay, this is what other girls have tried to tell us. This is what friendships have said. Like, me and you, I feel like, have figured out our own girl code, friendship code with each other.
Which is ideal.
Right, which is perfect, which you should do with every single relationship. And, like, that makes me happy. Hopefully we shared some things that, like, help you guys think about how you want to think about approaching this situation. But at the end of the day, like, do whatever you want to do. I'm, like, slurring my words.
I know. But speaking facts, bitch. Yeah, no, I'm wet about the same, especially, like, with our friendship. Like, I feel like we have been friends for, like, 6 years, like, I don't even know, like, so long, and, like, so we've developed, like, we've grown, and, like, but it's, like, weird, like, even when we were younger and, like, less mature, we've always just, like, been, like,
wait, just real quick, we met in 2016, right? Yeah, so that's, like,
because 26, we were in the same class, technically, we met in 2016,
so that's, like, 7 years.
Oh my God, we're actually grandmothers.
Okay, anyway.
That's going. Fucking stupid. But yeah, I feel like me and you have always just had this thing as, like, accepting each other as we are. I feel like you and I both have had best friends in the past that try to, like, tame our wild side.
Yes.
But me and you just, like, kind of let us do it. Like, with being safe also, but just not trying to control each other and, like, tame each other's light down. Like, I feel like we both shine simultaneously, like, next to each other because we're so different, too. So it just works. Like, Like, I've been best friends with girls that, like, look like me, and, like, it gets a little weird. But, like, me and you just, like, have such different vibes going on. So I'm wet about that. I'm wet that we always have the opposite opinion of everyone else. Because all these bitches are like, yes, you have to tell the girl she's being cheated on. And I'm like, let the angels and the universe take care of it for them. The goddess of Aphrodite, let her shine her light down and her love down, and they'll figure it out. And it's not my job or your job or anyone else's job based on the relationship, whatever. But yeah, I'm wet about that. I would say I'm dry. About how, like, feminism does get kind of twisted in our society, and that, like, if girl code is the girl code, like, what it is, like, you can't talk to the man that your friend liked once for 45 seconds in science class, like, that. I don't want to be a feminist then, if that's feminist. Let's just say that, okay? I'm slurring my words too. But it's just, like, I don't want to be that. And so I think like together, like we all need to like form our own sort of girl code with our individual. And like obviously universally, like I said at the beginning, like we will always support other women, put them up high as fuck. It's not about that, but it's not a girl code. And what? Girl code's all about boyfriends? What type of bullshit is that?
We need girl code beyond just when men are involved. Like,
it should just be like the period shit. Like, I love that girl code because, yes, please tell me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah,
I've like bled onto the seats in high school class before. Not like dripped, but I stood up and it was like a little shadow. That's so embarrassing. Why did I say that? Anyways, what do you dry about?
That's just a woman thing we've all dealt with, but like it's
right. That's why I said it,
babe. But I'm dry about like just honestly men. Like, why are you putting bitches in this fucking situation? Not to say that
it's all y'all's fault,
but like y'all are putting us against each other, pitting us against each other,
and they love it. They love when the bitches get jealous. They love
bitches fighting over them, and like nah. They love when a bitch gets crazy. Whatever. I'm dry about the times in my life where I have, you know, turned up on some bitches for some shit that I probably should have been mad at my man for. But again, growth. I'm dry that just the girl code shit. Like, I don't like feeling that pressure from especially women. Like, we already get enough pressure from men. We don't need to have women pressuring and oppressing
and us judging and putting like, stigma.
You know, like there's a whole, we don't need that. So I'm definitely fucking dry about that. I think I'm confused about the lines, and I still think it depends in certain situations.
Right.
And like going off of the moment and all of that, like I think that's still a little bit blurry for me. But I feel like you just got to know who your fucking homegirls are and like what your situation is, and also know who you're fucking with. Like, if you want to be the other woman, know that, know your role, know your place, know he's probably not going to leave the main bitch, and shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. We sound like evil men. But like, you feel me? Like, I don't know. I'm confused about that.
Because there is a lot of nuances. It's like, we'll be like, you should never say it. And then Fiji's like, yeah, well, I said it once when it was drunk, but like she was in my house. But it's like, that's the thing. Like, it is kind of all based on perspective. And it's like, we are biased. Like, obviously, like, I think it's okay for me to do it, but other people, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
And our opinion could change in a
year.
Our
opinion will change, I promise you, because it always does. This is just how we feel, like, right now about the topic.
Yep.
But I think overall, like, no woman is required to tell anyone anything. Ever. If it's your best friend, if they're in your family, if they're in your house, maybe it's different if you're really getting to know them. But you do not need to conjure up in the notes app some long-ass text to DM to a stranger living in Chicago that you know nothing about. No, especially
like,
if it was like,
focus on your own life.
Like, what's the situation? Y'all kissed once at a bar? Like, she doesn't need to know that. She does not need to know that. And you know what? She will figure it out, or something will happen. The relationship will leave because it wasn't meant for her. Like, just let people's lives play out. We're not God. We can't be the rulers of moving the chess pieces. Like, just sit down. It's okay. I promise it's okay.
Make peace. And if you feel guilty, make peace with your fucking self. Like,
go to therapy, write it in a journal, get it out,
send it in a pigeon to the fucking other side of the world.
Yeah, like, if you really have to do it and you feel so strongly, then maybe you're right. Maybe that is the one exception. But if there's any hint of doubt and you're like, maybe I shouldn't do this, don't do it. Do not do it. What, you want this bitch to come up with a machete?
If you don't know her. If you don't know her, shut the fuck up.
She could go crazy on you. And I personally, like, men are scary, but a mad woman is terrifying.
Like I said, I smashed that bitch's mirror. I just in her room, like, bitch, and I'm not even half as bad as half these bitches in Atlanta that will kill you.
Yeah, that was some low-key shit. You did her a favor by smashing her mirror and not her face.
I said, don't come home, ever.
Don't come home, because you'll be waiting for me. Bro, but it's not even funny. Like, bitches will do that. And men will do that, too. Like, we're all just humans. We all make mistakes. Whatever. You guys get it. But that's essentially how we feel. So that about does it for this episode. If you guys liked the episode, please let us know by commenting or following us, DMing us. We're on all social media platforms at So What So Dry. The O's are zeros. I sound like one of those telemarketers. You can reach us at www.com.
1-800-SO-WHAT-SO-DRY.
1-800-SO-WHAT-SO-DRY. But seriously, let us know. Like, we would love any feedback, even if it's negative. If you guys are some toxic creatures, like, haunting the internet. Okay, like, let us know. Comment. Share with your friends that you think might like a podcast about sex, relationships, identities, pop culture, all that. And also
Listener
you can say
support.
The next thing. Yeah.
If we have
I'll
listener support, guys. If you're listening on Spotify, we would really fucking appreciate it if you want to subscribe to our listener support. It's 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. It is not much. It's nothing. Think about it. Over the course
99
of a month,
cents, bro?
a month, 99
That's a Coke
cents.
can.
We are already struggling. I'm not even going to get into all that.
I'll get naked next episode if you guys
Like,
subscribe.
woo!
Immediately.
Anyway. I don't know about all that. But anyway, please, 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 we love you so much. Do all the shit that Autumn said, and we will catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.